14-page report that it's not just mine, it's Task Team 4, which consists of James Munn, and then Richard Faber helped us for a period of time, and then myself. And it does address the issues if we had only gone with a single train right now, and what it would cost in 5 or 10 years if we didn't have government funding. And those numbers, yeah, there's some interesting facts there. Whether we do the whole train in 5 or 10 years, I think we have to determine right now what we need in 5 or 10 years. And if we need it right now, we need to proceed with some type of a plan. We have until 2016 to complete the entire plan. So we don't have to put the shovel in the ground right now, but it depends on the Build Canada funds, which is $14.9 million, plus an extra $1 million from the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. And whether those grant monies could be used towards something that suits our needs, if we need to proceed with a different plan, even which is proposed right now. I think we have to keep our minds open to those possibilities and be ready to make appeals to various levels of government to consider other options as well. If Blue Water and South Huron decide that they're not going to participate in this plan, to me it just looks too financially onerous, this plan. I personally am interested in some kind of a sustainable development approach that would perhaps use a biodiesel or biodigester type of approach that would actually make us money. I'm supportive of that approach. I think that that's the cutting edge, the new wave, and if we could potentially do something like that, then we could make an appeal to the governments to use the monies towards something that allows us to make money from septage as well, using feedstocks perhaps that are available within our community, and then make money from the energy and the compost or the other byproducts too. So I think these are all things that need to be considered, and I trust we make the decision now. Well, we have the grant monies and not miss out on our opportunity.
In terms of water and wastewater rates, isn't it true that one of the reasons that Lambton Shore's water and wastewater rates are high because of its move to full replacement cost water rates mandated by the province? Who's brave enough to take that one?
Yes, I did mention that in my second last point, that the municipality of Lambton Shores has integrated life cycle replacement costs into their rates. And I have spoken with other municipalities. Some have not. It is mandatory for water. It's not mandatory for wastewater yet. But it does certainly make a difference in the final wastewater values. So, yeah.
Okay. I guess. What will be the tax impact regarding economic development and growth that may be lost without sewage capacity?
I think there could be lots lost for our community if we don't have treatment capacity. There's developers, there's people that would like to put senior citizen housing, senior citizen assisted housing that have talked to us that if we don't have sewage treatment capacity and we can't treat 40-unit apartment building with septic systems, so we have to have, I believe, sewage treatment capacity to have those types of developments that would employ 15 or 20 people, and some of them that we've had conversations with. So I think it would be hard on our economic development and our future growth of this community without adequate and proper sewage treatment facilities.
Here's one to council members. Can you ask staff to review this presentation and offer their comments and observations? Staff have looked at some of this and absolutely, I guess just to clarify, this was not presenting the final report to you today. This is a work in progress. Carl and I will put that together in January for presentation to council. What we wanted to let you know today is here's what we're working on. Here's what this committee has done. It continues to grow. And so yes, staff have been very much part of this with their input and have so far, Mayor, have complied, have they not, with requests? Here's another one. Elizabeth, don't go far. You reference the municipal debt in your presentation. Is it true that the municipality is within the debt guidelines prescribed by the province? This is a multi-parter.
Yes, I did mention that in my presentation as well. And the numbers were that we can't exceed 25% of our net revenues. And our net revenues are $15.7 million. 25% of that is $3.9 million. We're currently paying just over $2 million a year in debt financing. So yes, we are within it. But in this day and age, we have to be cautious with debt. Many municipalities have debt reduction programs. And I know Sarnia themselves have gone from 75 million down to 30 million, and they have 75,000 residents. So they see the concern for debt reduction, and I personally see the concern for debt reduction if the economy is impacted by what's happening in Europe right now.
Isn't it true that about $3.5 million of that debt associated with the beach project and acquiring parking lots for visitors? There's a lot of questions on this, but we'll work our way through. You're going to respond to that?
Parking lot and the beaches, I believe, are paid for through the parking revenue.
Okay.
So it's used, that servicing is done by visitors to our community. It's not on the taxpayers of life insurance.
Is it true that 5 or 6 of the items on that debt list will be retired before the proposed debt, the STF, is added? So in other words, within the next 2 years.
I believe so. I'd have to check, but I think that's probably pretty accurate.
Okay.
Actually, I could just make a point to that. As I said in my presentation, 86% of the $21 million, which is $18 million, has a term beyond 10 years. And it's my estimation that the sewage treatment facility has to be completed by 2016. So 86% of that debt will not be paid off before 2016.
A good portion of that debt is for water lines, a rural water system that has a 50-year life expectancy. A portion of that debt is for arenas that have a 30-year life expectancy. So it's debt, but it is also covered by long-term expenditures that will outlive the debt by a long ways.
Is it true that the $9 million debt for water infrastructure is already being covered through water rates? True?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Was some of this debt for the Grand Bend School project?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone here opposed to that debt?
It's
I'm presuming members of council. I don't know how you can be opposed to that because it's debt. You have to pay it.
Actually, the only amount of that 21 million is 198,000 that goes to the Grand Bend School. 198,000.
20 years left.
That will be paid off in 2 years, 2014.
There's another one too, Elizabeth. You mentioned that it only costs $50,000 to operate the lagoons, but $1.5 million to operate the proposed STF. Isn't it true that if you did an apples-to-apples comparison of the real cost of operating the lagoons, you would have to add their replacement cost to that $50,000?
I'm told that an upgraded lagoon would only cost $1 million. So, and the lifespan of lagoon is, I don't know, 30, 50 years. It's a long time. So if that was amortized over 30 or 50 years, $1 million, it's quite a bit different than paying $1 million a year for a $27 million project.
And we have to keep in mind that in the operating cost, it is true that whatever the operating cost, depending on which partners are in Lambton Shores, share would be proportional, correct? Okay. Carl, here's one for you. Did you factor into your assessment of the groundwater testing the fact that Golders said test results would only show trace levels of septic system impact because of the high dilution rate and the fact that the effluent is being flushed into the lake before it can be caught or measured?
I don't know if I can answer that. Nobody knows how quickly the Grand Bend aquifer moves into the lake. And this is a figure that you would have to do some extensive testing to find out. What they did is they took on 1 month intervals, a point analysis, and determined what the levels of the various contaminants were at that particular time. And that's the only information they could provide.
I think we're all agreed that there is an impact on groundwater from septic systems.
Yes.